Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Land of Music podcast with your host, Adam Roach.
Good morning.
Morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
No problem. It's been a while since we did our last one. It was like 2 years ago.
We're due. We're ready.
Yeah, it was
Love
actually March 17th, 2023. We're talking about skeletons.
I love it. Well, I'm back with the new one, man. I'm excited.
I know. Yeah, it's great. I've been listening to it, yesterday and pretty much all week, and yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Same as last time. Just the whole album is fantastic.
Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah. Now I can't remember before we get into the album if I mentioned to you last time that my American brother, he's from Michigan. He stayed with us for a year back in like 1988 as an exchange student.
Wow, I love
So
that.
I was talking to him about you guys, and he said how your song, what was it? Was it In the Big House? Was it called?
Oh yeah, in the big house. Yeah. For the university.
Yeah, he said that it always been played before the games and things like that.
Yeah. It's crazy. They've been wanting us to do it, but it's just tough because so many of the other schools around are big Pop Evil supporters. So it's tough for us. We don't
Oh,
play it
really?
often. Very, very rare. Yeah, but we get asked about it all the time. All the time.
Yeah. Yeah, so I went back and had a look at some of the YouTube clips, and yeah, it's fantastic. I see some of
Yeah.
it updated as well. Like it's like an updated version of the Michigan with the song playing.
That's right. They just, I think Michigan just won the championship here a couple years back now, and
Yeah,
they did a different version with it and all that cool stuff. So it's special, man. Obviously, when you're from an area and the sports teams are supportive, it just makes it that much sweeter. So it's an honor to be a part of such a great
yeah,
school and have a song that people are enjoying. Man, it's great.
yeah. Well, he's a huge fan of the Michigan and and you guys. So he's always got his big M. He comes over to Australia and
Yeah, you'll have to thank him for me, man, for
yeah,
sure.
I will. Chris Lowe, his name is.
Okay, right on, right
Yeah.
on.
He actually does
Big
the
shout
intro.
out.
Yeah, he does the intro for my podcast now. So I think because when I
Oh,
was
very cool.
yeah.
That's awesome how you guys have stayed in touch and created a good friendship out of exchange too like that. That's cool.
Yeah. We met up last year in Thailand. We met like sort of
Oh
up
wow.
there. Yeah.
Good for you guys, man. That in Thailand, what a party that would have been.
I know. I must say he
uh,
loved it.
I was going to say you guys got some stories, I'm sure. Yeah, yeah. That's,
Yeah. So that was really good. So it was good seeing that and knowing all about that Michigan connection. So it was great because I actually went over in 1990 with my band and we played some of the high schools. Actually, I wrote it down here. We played at Bedford High in Temperance.
okay. I don't know if I'm as familiar with that one.
Yeah, and we played one of the state prisons.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
cool though.
And a
Very-
pub called Roxanne's. I'm not sure if it's there anymore.
I don't know if it's there. I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah.
But still, the state prison. You came all the way to Michigan to play state prison. That's pretty badass. Yeah,
It's a long time ago now, 1990.
yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
love that. Thanks for sharing that.
No, you're welcome.
Yeah,
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 so this new album, like I said, yeah, it's fantastic. So What
yeah.
Remains? This was released, last month or March?
March 21, I think it was.
That's right,
Yeah.
yeah.
hmm
How's it all going?
It's been great. I mean, the way the fans have been receiving it is just incredible. It's a bit humbling because of the energy's been so positive, and it's motivating too and inspiring. We're ready. I'm already working on the next one. Right? We'll
Oh,
see.
really?
We'll see. Well, I'm not rushing it, but I'm dabbling. We're getting going. Got to get focused here. So we're ready.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just fantastic. Because I remember the last album, Skeletons, we really broke down the album. We're talking about, the
Yeah.
messages and everything. And I found,
Yeah.
found this one, even like the sound quality, it's a little bit different than the other one in a good way. It's
Yeah. I mean, all the albums, you try to outdo them, right? You try to get a little better, and different producers, different engineers. I mean, it's just kind of just part of the element. It's just part of the landscape that is making a new record, and you kind of learn from some of the mistakes that you've made along the way, and you're like, okay, let's not do that again. We tried that, nope, or we haven't tried this, let's do that again. So
Yep.
it just the way this album was unique was it was after the first 5 songs. I remember we had my manager, he reached out and he goes, do you know what you're writing about? And I'm like, no, I just got the blinders on, I'm just full speed ahead, I'm not really thinking about it, just writing songs, and he goes, well, I want you to just read the lyrics, to a few of these songs and call me back. Just don't listen to music, just read the lyrics. And so I did, and he's like, man, you realize these songs are about you? And I'm like, wow, I guess I didn't even realize that I had that kind of weight that I'd been carrying all these years. And he goes, I want you to keep pushing, and then I remember, like, I go, let me see what the band says, and then the band was kind of, they were all about it, very supportive. And I think with the band's blessing, it just made it, this lineup, especially with Pop Evil, the way we've been supporting each other, it's really made it a healthy environment for me to really push and go down those rabbit holes to heal. Where in the past, maybe I'd be like, nah, I don't want to write about me. Sometimes it's easier to write about others anyways, but it just was so organic the way it was flowing. And it just felt like every song, boom, weight releasing, everything was just coming off my shoulders. And it just felt so right, man. I just, there was a different kind of happiness that I was feeling towards the end of it. Certainly feeling the pressure as well. I mean, you want an album to be great, but it was just a different kind of feeling. And I knew that if I was going through this, there's got to be someone else who's going through it. And just kind of knowing that it might help someone else, or I wasn't alone and feeling these feelings that I was feeling, that someone else has got to be with me out there. It just motivated me to just keep pushing and keep going down that rabbit hole. And, just excited about, when we finally were able to get the music out, and, now here we are. And sure enough, people have been loving the album. So super grateful, and inspired to just get back in, and get writing and trying to outdo this one on the next one.
Yeah. So do you find, like, after you record and especially release it, it's like you're saying, it's like a healing process? Like, I've let it all out there. Now, I feel
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, no, it is. It's exactly like it, right? Like, because I mean, for musicians, well, for fans, right? You when you're feeling off or you need some kind of inspiration, you're going and listening to your favorite bands, or you're listening to certain songs, and you can feel better, right? Like, you needed that. Sometimes you hear that song, you're like, oh, I just needed that. I got to hit repeat, 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 repeat.
Yeah.
And for musicians, it's similar, but sometimes it can happen with your own music because you know what you're going through, so you're writing it in this particular case, all for, I mean, it still can be some metaphors hidden in there, but like a lot of reference to the things you've been going through and dealing with. So as you're listening, that becomes your favorite song for maybe a few months. You're like, oh my gosh, I got to hear it. Like, What Remains was like, man, I had no idea I needed to hear that song. So I mean, I must have played it out a million some odd times before it was ever released. So by the time it comes out, you're ready for it to be someone else's song, but for that window before an album's released, that music's mine, or it becomes, it's for the band to be, to use for the healing and to be motivated by, so it would just, for that first year, before we released it, a lot of those songs were just what I needed to really, release and find out just, the mental health issues that I've really been struggling with, and put myself in a position to kind of be better, on the stage, by learning to heal off it,
Yeah, that's right. Wishful thinking. Your
Yeah.
vocal in that I found was a different side to you as well. Different side of you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of different variables with Wishful. One of my favorites on the record, just because, we were trying to do even different. It's almost like you'd think about that yin and yang, right? You got the angel on one shoulder, you got the devil on the other, constantly in your ear, about what you should do. And, there's so many people that come into your life and they're like, hey, look, we're going to be great. I'm going to be with you here. I've got your back, blah, 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 blah. And of course, what do people do religiously? People let you down. You know what I mean? That just is what it is. And sometimes people let you down and there's no ill will. And then sometimes people let you down and they're stoked about it. You know what I mean? Like, you have to decide who the good people are in your life. And in the meantime, that the beginning of the wishful thinking, those whispers like that are in your head, really getting that effect on my vocal. That's just very similar to how, everyone has that voice in their head. What does it say? That's kind of like what mine would be, like, very whispery and soft. And then, of course, when you get to the chorus, boom, that other angel, that devil on your other side screaming at you, like, letting you have it, so to really get that yin and yang. And then, of course, in the breakdown, that guttural scream that comes in with, dig your own grave. It's just a really special song. And just one that really just shook me to the core. I was so excited about it when we got it out. It was like, man, just be able to, tell that story and lyrically and musically. It was just, it was really hitting for me, man. It was really affecting the soul, and it put me in a position to really, feel better about a lot of the issues I've dealt with, to get to where I am in my career.
No, again, it's a great song. I mean, they're all great songs, but that one especially.
Yeah, no, I get it. Thank you.
Yeah. So, do you have many songs, not your songs, but like other bands, where you remember that you've heard that you think, oh yeah, you still remember it to this day, that left a message with you or made you do something?
Uh, I'm sure I do. It's just sometimes you got to hear those to reminisce. Like I like radio was different when we were all younger. So sometimes you hear that song that like I just remember like being in my car with like my family. We were all together, and my dad's passed on, so those moments like really mean a lot to me. And I remember some of that timeless stuff, whether it was a Journey song or REO Speedwagon song. Like where the whole family was just singing in the car. So
Yeah.
those are some of the moments. They weren't necessarily the heaviest or metal band. I mean, those I had those moments with maybe some of my college boys, and we were chasing girls, man, and driving on the beach. And then we had the windows down. We were, playing Pantera, playing, Metallica or whatever it was, But those moments, I think, mean more to me. Like listening to some Speedwagon with my mom and dad in the car, my bro. We were all singing, it's time for me to fly, time for me to fly. It's time for me to fly. It's time for me to fly. I mean, just those like harmonies and the way those guys were singing back then in the
Yeah.
70s or the 80s. It just chills, man. Like I'm a vocalist, I sing. I'm a singer. I love melody, and I just remember, singing in the car with my fam and friends, and just good memories. And I think that's the cool thing about that question. It's not so much about the band or the song, it's the memory that's attached to it. You know what I mean? So sometimes you think, it can even be that Disney song. You just remember being in there, your kids were singing it, or next thing you know, you were there, that moment you never thought you'd get to Florida. It could be that time you're in Australia too. The weather was nice. It just, there's so many variables that I think for me are the most important. But every now and then you hear that song, you're like, oh my God, dude, that's the whip. I love that song. You know what I mean? And just I remember driving around trying to break windows or smash cars with that, man. I just wanted to hit that guy in the bumper because I was raging. I love that song so much. You know what I mean? And yeah, and there was. I mean, Rage Against the Machine would always make me want to do that. I mean, they were just I love that. And actually even getting a chance to see them couple of years back, when they came back for a minute, and I remember Zach was hurt, so we were sitting, I think, on a case singing that whole day, and it was in Toronto, and we had an off day, and I'm like, oh my God, well, we're going to see. I don't even care. I was like a fanboy, I didn't even care. I'll pay for the ticket. I don't need no hookup. I don't want to wait. I'm going to that show. You know what I mean? Because I never got to see them when I was growing up because I had no money for that. We weren't going to get to see it. They weren't coming near me. I would have had to drive 3 hours or 4 hours. So I was not missing that. So, they're just different moments and different bands for everyone, similar to getting Australia. I would say, like, I don't think fans understand, for me personally, like growing up in Michigan, all I would see would be stuff from Australia being romanticized on TV. And then, of course, down in Florida, right? Like in Michigan, always kind of like on TV, the commercials and stuff would always be stuff that's tropical and warm because, it's cold up here. So most of the time, Michigan people, they call us snowbirds because we just like to get the heck out of here, man, and go south or towards Australia, But I never thought for me I'd ever get to go to Australia. So, seeing that, and then of course doing interviews now and dreaming about getting back there, having a chance to go there in 2019, it was just incredible, man. And in some ways, just shocked me. I didn't even know we had fans there. You know what I mean? Like you don't even think. Now it's different. Now I know, you see. But in those days when even in 2019, which wasn't that long ago, I didn't even really know, you know what I mean? And then you get there and people are there, it's packed and singing all the songs. You're like, oh my God, this is amazing, and it was just something that I know that when I think about and I get asked that every now and then, like, what's a touring moment of your career that stands out? And I'm like, Australia,
Yeah.
like just that, just being such a destination place, right? Like it's not like people it's not like people in Australia like I can't wait to go play the US. Yeah, they might say that, but are they really saying, "Hey, I can't wait to go to the US and play Iowa"? Like really? Like they're not maybe not saying that, but they might be saying, "I can't wait to go to the US and tour," right? But they don't think about, the non, exciting, even though Iowa's an amazing place to play, the people there are rowdy as heck, but you're not thinking it's not like the landscape is so, fascinating, right? It's just middle America. There's nothing, kind of like Adelaide, right? Like it's just it's when I think about going to Australia, I think about going to Sydney or Brisbane, or doing so, or going out to the Barrier Reef and doing your thing. But the first time we landed, we touched base, we were in Adelaide. I'm like, what the heck is this? You know what I mean? But it was amazing. People were there. Like that first show we played, they were like losing their mind, man. The stage was even tough. They were all up on the stage with us. It was just one of my favorite shows, So now from forever, I mean, I always think of Adelaide as a party, man. It was so much fun. So again, there's just different moments as you think about, like, again, it's not even a music thing, man. This is a people thing, right? Like it's just like I'm a storyteller, man. That's what I do for a living. I write music, tell stories. And like when I get on asked these questions, man, it's hard not to. I don't really look back. I'm always about the next song, the next album, the next tour, right? So till I get in an interview where someone asks me about it, I'm like, oh, dude, yeah, let me think about that. Oh, dang, man, that's okay. I remember, but like a lot of times I'm not thinking backwards. This business doesn't let you. It's always about the next thing, Otherwise, you go home, you retire, it's over.
Yeah. So we really need to get you back to Australia then very soon.
Well, it's funny because every time we get ready for another tour, another album cycle starts. The first thing, we always get with the managers, the label, hey, what are some goals for this tour? Everyone's like, Australia, Australia, Australia. There's like 5 Australias all the time from the band members. And they're like, we got it. But the fact that we're doing interviews in the press is a great sign.
Yeah.
I know they're trying. It's just got to be the right tour, right? Like we can't go there and lose money, or it can really be catastrophic to the band moving forward. And we don't just want to get there and play. Like we want to be able to be at a point where we can bring our show and production, and grow that production in Australia would be the goal, right? So, every tour matters. Everything counts because you don't get to come there every day. It's one hell of a plane ride, right? So, sure, when you do get there, you make everything a win. Every show is a win. Every move you make during that tour is a win. And it's not just about making money. Like you don't need to make money there. You just can't afford to lose it, right?
Yeah.
So it's important for bands, and we've only been there once. So breaking, and that's for any new country. It's not just an Australia thing, right? Like you don't want to go to Mexico, you don't want to go to Canada and lose money. It can be devastating for you to get back. So we want to do it right. We understand that now at this point in our career, and we want to do it the right way. So, but it's I promise you, it is one place that we're in love with, anyways. Actually, we were in Canada. Well, we had our tam tams in celebration because we got to get some tam tams in Canada so we can get a little love to our Australian fans, man. Get some love back. So we love some of that Australian food that's already become familiar after one tour. That we just love y'all. So hopefully sooner than later, we're definitely got it. It's circled and highlighted every album cycle, and Australia is definitely big and bold on this album cycle. So hopefully we get there before the year ends or even next year. So
yeah.
we'll see.
So last time you were here, did you get a chance to like go out at all, or did you just
We did. Yeah. I mean, I'm notorious. I got to go out a little bit as much as I can, and I did a lot of the city centers, or whatever the mall areas, whatever they're called. I forget, but the band, it's different though because the time change is no joke, right? So it's Eastern time zone for me. It's it's almost 6:00 p.m. It's like 8 in the morning your guys' way, right?
That's right.
8 or 9 in the morning. So, and you guys are winter right now. We're summer. So it's a little bit different. I'd love to be there though in your summer because it's just so beautiful there. And there's a lot of the beaches, a lot of the coast stuff. I couldn't really get to experience the Gold Coast the way I wanted to. But, anything's great. Getting to see anything, taste the culture is just, to me, I think, and there's a lot of band members I know that don't do any of that. They just stay in the dressing room and they do their thing and whatever, to each their own, right? Like if that's what they need to relax, and so be it. But for me personally, I love the culture. I love to meet the people. I love to, just kind of, smell the air, smell the outdoors, just be outdoors. I mean, it's and getting to Sydney. I remember Sydney. I had to see what was it, Luna Park. I got to see that. That's the creepiest clown face. Like get to the park, man. You're like, dude, this place is awesome. So, but even seeing the Opera House. I mean, again, these are the places you never think you're going to get to see, and you always see the pictures, right? But when you're there and you're seeing it, you're like, oh, okay, it's like that. Like, oh, I had no idea. You got this picture in your head of what it's going to be like. But there still was a lot of stuff, I wanted to go on a great white expedition. I wanted to see some of that. I wanted to go, and there was one, I think, in between Adelaide or near there, and we were so close to going, but we just didn't have time. Wanted to do, the Australian Zoo, up in Brisbane there, and then the Great Barrier Reef. We got to do a koala park though. It was great. So I got to take a selfie with the kangaroo. It was a very educated kangaroo. He did a nice pose, had a nice smile for me, so you could tell he'd done it before. So it was a good time, man, for sure.
Yeah. Well, we've got there's a whole bunch or a flock of whatever you call them. Pretty much right down the end of our street. They're always there every morning. The
Oh, I
kangaroos.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it, man. It's just cool, man. Just like, when you came up to Michigan, you want it's
Yeah.
just I think that's what makes it so unique about what we do is the similarities, but also the differences. Just so
Yeah.
cool to be able to kind of, have those stories. And again, of course, your friends never understand when you get home. They're like, "What was it like in Australia?" You're like, "Oh, I can't. You'd have to go there. You can't understand." They're like, "What do you mean? Tell me a story." Like, I can't picture it. So it's just hard sometimes to really explain. You have to just, you have to know what it's like to be there and
Yeah,
to
that's right.
talk to amazing people like you, and the fans are amazing. And it's different. There's definitely a hunger for rock and metal there in Australia that I had no idea. It's just amazing. I mean, people are hungry for it there, man, and we want to be a part of it. So we can't wait, man. Fingers crossed that we get there sooner than later.
Your other EP that you got out as well now in the film clips.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's really your vocal in that is incredible.
Thank you so much, man. The unleaded stuff, the acoustic stuff are very passionate to me. I mean, I grew up on the Great Lakes in Michigan, right? So we always had an acoustic guitar. And once the 8 o'clock rolled around, if we were playing any loud music, the police were coming and kicking us out. So we had to learn how to play on acoustic no matter what. So we wanted to keep that party going, So it was just super awesome, and have an opportunity to be able to strip some of these heavy songs down and give our fans an opportunity to listen to them in a different way is fun, man. I mean, that's what makes, being a musician and being in a band, that's some of the fun elements. And I think when we were younger, we really took those acoustic opportunities for granted. It's like, I'll just play it and let's get out of here. It's like, no. Now there's an opportunity here to really strip these songs down and give people a different vibe on the song that they might already know and love. Like, oh my gosh, I've heard this song so heavy, but now hearing it like this, and then of course you take the cover. I mean, you take, Don't You Forget About Me, that 80s smash. It's great. But what really resonated with me is the lyric, like, don't you forget about me. That's so deep. Like, we all think like that in our life, right? When you think about like, what will be 10 years from now, 50 years from now, 100, 200 years from now, at some point we will all be forgotten, right? So we're all trying to live forever in a way. And to do that, is to not be forgotten. And I think there's something so haunting and beautiful with that lyric that we wanted to, showcase. And, obviously when you take the original version of that song from the 80s, it's already one of the biggest songs in the world. I mean, you can't ever top that. So to take our own perspective or a reimagined version, we were really excited to do something we were proud of and to really focus on the haunting aspect of how powerful those lyrics are. So I'm super stoked about it. Hopefully people will, it'll resonate with people the way it spoke to us, and they'll enjoy it. So we're stoked to get it out.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I love hearing things like that where you do break it down and get a little different meaning from it as well. So it's really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely was fun.
Well, I think there's John now. The next one's waiting. All right, I'll let you go then.
I love it. Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for everything, and can't wait to do this again in person. Hopefully soon.
For sure. See you in Melbourne. Hopefully real soon.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Right.
Well, have a good rest of your winter, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
No worries. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Now.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah.